Okay, so actually we lost the internet connection here in college, so I connected to my hotspot. Once again, I will share the screen. Okay, right. So we are in this, right, VCRS system. So refrigerant comes in the evaporator takes the heat from the space. Then it is converted into dry saturated or superheated. The superheated vapor is passed to the compressor. It is get compressed in the compressor. Then the high pressure, high temperature refrigerant, it passed to the condenser where it releases it heat to the surrounding. Then that refrigerant is passed, cooled and passed to the expansion valve. So here we have low pressure, low temperature refrigerant plus liquid plus vapor mixture. This is the VCRS cycle we have seen up to this point. Now, next concept or the basic for the VRS is understanding what is the difference between absorption and adsorption. Okay, so these are two different phenomena you have already studied in your 12th physics, sorry, 12th chemistry, right? Now, these are two phenomena we'll see one by one. So first is absorption. So as the name suggests, the phenomena of absorption takes place. So here is an example, it is taking place. So we have a liquid, we have a gas. You can imagine this as a water, it has some level and then there is a air. Now, when air molecules intrude inside the liquid, air molecules intrude inside the liquid, or you can take another example of sponge. So we have a sponge which is a solid, and then there is a liquid, right? When liquid molecules will intrude or emerge or go inside the solid substance, so that time we call it as a absorption. There is a mass transfer takes place from one point to another point. Now, second thing here is the adsorption. Okay, so this is very famous in the case of electroplating, right? So there is a solid surface is there, then there is a liquid surface. So formation of liquid molecules on the surface of the solid, that is a adsorption. This is generally famous in the electroplating. म्हणजे एक चमचा असतो त्याला आपण चांदीचा कव्हर करतो. So that is the process of electroplating. In that case, what is happening? Liquid molecules are being deposited on the surface of the solid. Or you simply, if you apply the paint to your walls, so what is happening in that case? Adsorption takes place. So paint does not go inside the wall, right? There is no absorption. What happens? Paint remains on the, or it deposits on the walls. So that is a adsorption, right? Now with this little bit understanding, we'll go further. I will also show you. I will also show you how the absorption takes place in the VRS system, right? So vapor absorption refrigeration system. So we'll see one by one. So an absorption refrigerator is a refrigerator that uses a heat source, for example, solar energy or fossil fuel flame, waste heat from factories or distinct heating system to provide the energy needed for cooling process. Okay. So previously in VCRS, we used to give electricity directly to the compressor. Here in this case, we are using the other heat sources like solar or fossil fuel flame. In this system, mechanical compression process of vapor compression cycle is replaced by the thermal compression process. Okay. So how this thermal compression takes place? So the thermal compression is achieved by following process. So don't worry, we'll see with the help of a figure also. So this is just a theoretical part. Absorbing a fluid vapor, for example, ammonia, into another carrier fluid. Let us say water. Water here is an absorbent, and ammonia here is it a absorbate. So there are two terms. The liquid which absorbs vapor, so that is a absorbent, and the vapor is called as absorbate. Absorbent and absorbate. Pumping this solution to a high pressure cycle by a simple pump, producing vapors from the solution by heating. So there is a generator involved. So where VCRS system is used. What is the application of VCRS? Electricity is unreliable or load shedding is very frequent. The places where noise from the compressor can create disturbances. In VRS, there is no compressor, so very less noise. Where extra or exhaust heat is easily available. For example, surplus heat from the power plants can be used, or in case of solar energy. So where that waste heat is so much, you can utilize actually that waste heat and you can utilize for another purposes. So there is a power plant, it has waste heat in the condenser. You can get that waste heat and utilize for another purpose. Basic principles of VRS system. The compressor in the VCRS is replaced by generator, a pump, and absorber. So the basic components of a basic VRS system are generator, pump, absorber. Okay, so these three have replaced the compressor in the VCRS. Then we have condenser, common, evaporator again, expander or throttling device again common, and some other components like rectifier, analyzer, and heat exchanger. So we'll see that also. These are some advanced topics in the VRS. So that also we'll see later. Okay, so this is the basic diagram for a simple VRS system. In this case, water is the carrier or it is the absorbent. Ammonia is the refrigerant or the absorbent. Okay, so remember this is a basic or simple vapor absorption refrigeration system. It is also called as ammonia water refrigeration system. In this case, water is the carrier, ammonia is the refrigerant. Okay, so we'll see one by one. Pay your attention. I will explain very slowly. If you pay your attention, then you will understand. There is no big deal, right? So let us start with the evaporator, right? So we are at the evaporator. You already know evaporator carries out the objective of the refrigeration. Evaporator absorb the heat from the space where we need the refrigeration or air conditioning. So this is our objective. So at the entry of the evaporator, we have liquid refrigerant, right? It absorbs the heat and then it is converted into vapor. So here we have low pressure ammonia vapor. Why low pressure? So in any refrigeration system, there are two pressures. Higher pressure is condenser pressure, lower pressure is the evaporation pressure. So here it is a low pressure ammonia vapor which is coming out of the evaporator. So ammonia is the refrigerant. It passes through the condenser, evaporator coils. It gets converted into ammonia vapor. This is as simple as it is. It is a refrigerant. Now comes the next part, that is the absorber. In this case, this ammonia, and there is some water inside the absorber. So here some water level is there. Water absorbs the ammonia vapor. Now this absorption process is a exothermic reaction. That means it releases the heat during the absorption. So to reduce the temperature or to absorb that extra heat, we are employing a water cooled jacket there. So this is a water cooled jacket. It will absorb the heat coming out of absorption. So outlet of the absorber, here we have a strong solution. Strong solution means the concentration of ammonia is more in the water. Strong solution is pump. Okay, so another major component in the VRS is pump. This solution is pumped to the generator, right? Now in generator what happens? So see here, the basic requirement of the solution in the VRS system is that both the carrier and the refrigerant, they should have huge difference or the high difference in their boiling points. Water has a boiling point at that pressure and ammonia has some boiling point. So there should be huge difference between their boiling points. Why? I will tell you. When this solution passes in the generator, there we are supplying the heat with the help of steam or with the help of a steam heating coil. So because of differences in the boiling point, okay, so ammonia's boiling point is very, very less compared to water. First, ammonia will evaporate. Okay, first ammonia will be converted into vapor. So first this ammonia will be separated out from this line. Then remaining water with very less concentration of ammonia, so that we are calling it as a weak solution. It is then taken out from this pipeline, right? So this pipeline or this piping will contain only ammonia. So it has high pressure ammonia vapor, right? So again, I will repeat, generator's function is to separate ammonia from water. So ammonia is separated through this piping and water is separated from this piping. Then this ammonia will be passed to the condenser. Again, in condenser, phase change takes place. Ammonia vapor is converted into ammonia liquid. So at the outlet, we have high pressure ammonia liquid. How it is converted? So heat is extracted with help of again cooling water jacket. So there is again cooling water system is there. Water will flow through the coils. It will absorb the heat, and this ammonia vapor is converted into ammonia liquid. So here we have liquid ammonia, high pressure liquid ammonia. It is passed to the receiver, then it is go to the expansion wall. In expansion wall, what happens? Pressure reduces. So expansion wall is the constant enthalpy process where pressure reduces. So here we have high pressure liquid ammonia. At the exit of expansion wall, here we will have low pressure, low temperature liquid ammonia. Again, this cycle will repeat. Then there is another circuit. So here at the outlet, another outlet, here it is for water. Here the water will contain very less concentration of ammonia. That is why we are calling it as a weak solution. Now this weak solution will pass through the pressure reducing valve. It will be reduced to the pressure of absorber. Okay. So see, previously we used pump to raise the pressure. Again, here we using the pressure reducing valves. This is very necessary. Then this weak solution is passed to the absorber. Again, in this case, weak solution will absorb the ammonia vapor coming out of evaporator. Then it will become strong solution. Okay. So whole that compressor part of the VCRS is replaced by these four components: absorber, pump, generator, and pressure reducing valve. Okay. I hope you understood. If you want me to repeat again, I will also repeat again. If you have any doubt, please ask. Yes, any doubt? Right. Now, this process of absorption in the absorber, that will also I will show you. So pay attention. So I will exit this PPT presentation. We'll go to the YouTube, and there we can see. Okay. So this is a video for the ammonia fountain, right? So what is happening here? We'll see. So there is no audio, but there are subtitles. So this is explain the solubility of ammonia in the water. So there is this top glass, it will now close. So it will create an airtight casing. At the bottom, we have ammonia. Now with little bit water, in that little bit water, ammonia is dissolved. As ammonia is dissolving in the water, the pressure reduces. So that is why the liquid is flowing in upward direction against gravity. So here in this case, what is happening? Pressure here it is low. So air is pushing this liquid through this tube into the upward direction. Okay. So the absorption creates a negative pressure, or the when the ammonia dissolves into water, the pressure of the system reduces. So as the pressure is low in this area, liquid will flow from high pressure to low pressure. Okay, so I will again repeatedly play this. Now in this flask, he will add some water. Okay. Now ammonia is dissolving into the water. So this is called as ammonia fountain. Okay. So ammonia, because of negative pressure, so it will go into upward direction. It will create a fountain. So it is not creating a fountain. Let us watch another video for ammonia fountain. So this is again another experiment for the absorption of ammonia into the water. And this is famously called as ammonia fountain. So here it is, water is there. This flask is filled with ammonia. Okay. Watch closely what happens. Now he has opened the connections. Ammonia has dissolved into the water. This will create a negative pressure in the flask, and the water will flow in the upward direction. Okay. So without any pump, without any external device, water is flowing in upward direction, without any motor, without any equipment. So I will play that again. Here this flask will have ammonia gas. Then there is a connection to the water, but it is now closed. So now he will insert this into this, and now he'll open the connection. So ammonia gas will first come down and react with water, but this will create negative pressure in the upward region. This will create a fountain. Now see, this is creating a fountain. Water is flowing in the upward direction, and because of the reaction, it is getting that pink color. You can see the fountain. Water is coming in upward direction. This is called as ammonia fountain. This is how the absorption takes place in the absorber. Okay. So I hope you understood the concept of absorption of ammonia into the water. When it water absorb the ammonia in the absorber. Here, what happens? Pressure reduces as well as temperature increases. So because it is an exothermic reaction, so that heat is extracted by this cooling water jacket. Pressure is reduced in this case, so this will flow to the generator. Again, in generator, ammonia is separated, water is separated. Ammonia will complete the refrigeration cycle. This water will be passed again back to the absorber. So processes, ammonia vapors coming out of evaporator are drawn in the absorber. The weak solution containing very little ammonia is sprayed in the absorber. The weak solution absorbs the ammonia and gets converted into the strong solution. This strong solution from the absorber is pumped into the generator. The addition of heat liberates ammonia vapor and solution gets converted into weak solution. So in generator, it is separated. So we get ammonia separate and water separate. The released vapor is passed to the condenser and weak solution to the absorber through a reducing valve. Thus, the function of compression is done by absorber, generator, pump, and reducing valve, pressure reducing valve. The refrigerant vapor with high pressure goes to the condenser and liberates heat and ultimately becomes liquid. So this process is similar to the VCRS system. It will go to the condenser, vapor will be converted into liquid, again liquid pass to the expansion valve, again it will pass to the evaporator. The liquid is collected in a receiver tank and then moves to the expansion valve. Here it is expanded and moves towards the evaporator. In evaporator, it collects the heat and becomes vapor and the cycle continues. So again, here is another sophisticated diagram is given. Here in this case, we have this H2O and lithium bromide solution, but We'll see this part later, but for time being, here, what is the specialty? Here they have utilized the solar energy. So previously they have used the steam or heating coil in the generator. In this case, in generator, they are utilizing solar heater. So solar energy. So there is a flat plate collector. It will absorb the solar heat, convert it into heat. There is a water piping is there. So hot water is passed through this generator. It will heat this solution. Again, in this case, ammonia will be separated, passed to the condenser. Weak solution will be passed again back to the absorber. Okay. So this is just one case in which they have utilized solar energy, which is available free, right? Which is available free. They have utilized solar flat plate collector or solar water heater, and then they have utilized in the generator. So VRS is applicable where we have electricity problems or which is not readily available. In this case, we can make use of fossil fuel energy or solar energy, right? So VRS is very, you can say, eco-friendly. Now, what are the requirements of the system? Solubility requirement. Okay, so the refrigerant should have very high solubility in the absorbent material. So in our case, whatever we have seen, ammonia should have very high solubility in the water. Then and then only it has some meaning. Okay, so when I pass ammonia in the absorber, it should get readily absorbed in the water, so that a strong solution is possible. Boiling point requirement. So this is very important in the generator. There should be a large difference in the normal boiling point of the two substances in the order of 150 degrees Celsius to 200 degrees Celsius. So in previous case, the difference between boiling point of water and ammonia in the prescribed pressure, in that case, boiling point, the difference should be 150 to 200 degrees Celsius. The absorbent should have negligible vapor pressure at the generator temperature. Thus, almost absorbent-free refrigerant is boiled off from the generator and the absorbent alone returns to the absorber. So the ammonia should be extracted from the generator and weak solution is passed to the absorber. Now, this is a diagram which will explain or which will give you idea what is the difference, graphical difference between VCRS and VRS. So this is the first one is the VCRS. You are very familiar with VCRS system. Evaporator, then compressor, then condenser, then expansion device, then again evaporator. In evaporator, heat is extracted. In condenser, heat is released. Compressor takes the external work. Opposite to that, here we have VRS system. In VRS, this compressor is being replaced by absorber plus pump plus generator plus expansion device. Okay. So in this case, what happens? The ammonia vapor or the whatever that refrigerant we have used, that vapor will come to the absorber. Here it is absorbed, strong solution is formed. This strong solution is pumped into generator. In generator, refrigerant is separated, water or that carrier is separated. So that weak solution again passes to the expansion device and again back to the absorber. Refrigerant is separated, it is passed to the condenser, it will convert into the liquid, then its pressure is reduced in the expansion device. So low temperature, low pressure refrigerant is passed to the evaporator, in which heat is extracted, our objective gets completed, then again the cycle will repeat. So the compressor part of the VCRS is replaced by this 4 parts in the VRS system. Again, why we are using VRS system? In case you have electricity problems, then you can use solar energy or fossil fuel energy, right? And you have some requirements that we don't want noise of compressor, we don't want vibrations coming out of compressor, we don't want compressor at all. In that case, you can go for VRS system, right? So I think this is enough for today's introduction to the VRS. In this, we have seen how the VRS or simple VRS system works and what is the difference between VCRS and VRS system. In upcoming lectures, we'll see in details the comparison of VCRS and VRS. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. So somebody had raised hand. Who was that? Yes, Rishikesh. Do you have any questions? Yes, somebody had raised his hand. So, any question? Okay. So quickly, I will go back to the slide number 1, and we'll take a revision whatever we have learned today. This is about a VRS system, right? Next lecture, we'll see the comparison between VRS and VCRS. Then there is a derivation for the COP of a VRS system. Then we'll see some numericals. Then we'll see some like practical VRS systems like Electrolux or lithium bromide systems. Okay. So we'll take quick revision here. So this is how the VRS system looks in practical. So the black part here, it is the insulation. Then these are the other components. This was the basic VCRS system, right? Then we have seen the what is the difference between absorption and adsorption. In absorption, direct mass transfer takes place. In adsorption, there is a deposition of liquid particles onto the solid surface. Then we have seen the VRS system basic, where it can be used. What are the components in the VRS? So this was the basic diagram for the VRS system. So the compressor part is replaced by absorber, pump, generator plus pressure reducing valve. Then we have seen the processes in the VRS system. There was one example where we can use solar energy also in the generator. We have seen the solubility requirement. So the refrigerant should be soluble in the carrier. Boiling point means there should be a huge difference between boiling point of refrigerant and boiling point of carrier. So graphically also we can see this is a VCRS system. So this compressor part is being replaced here by these 4 components. Then we get a VRS system. Okay. So in next lectures, we will see thorough comparison between VRS and VCRS. So every time in university examination, this question is asked, differentiate between VCRS and VRS system. So there are high chances that your examination will be physical. You have to write the questions again you used to do previously, right? So with this, we'll stop. In next lecture, we'll continue VRS systems. We'll take some numericals also. And then your second chapter will be over. Okay. So type in your attendance in the chat box, then we can stop. Yes, type into your attendance, enter only roll numbers so that it will be easier for me to maintain the record. And then we can stop. Okay. So this is again very important topic, VRS systems. So we'll see in detail in next lecture. Okay. So I hope all have entered their attendance. If not, put it immediately. Today, I think this is sufficient for you, the introduction to the VRS system. So in next lecture, you will understand more about the VRS system. We can also compare the COP of the VCRS and VRS system. That time also you can see why nowadays industries are going towards the VRS system. If you see the recent trends in the refrigeration industry, people are going for the VRS systems. and generally they are going for solar powered VRS systems. In that case, they are using solar energy in the generator for heating purpose. Right, so I hope you all have entered your attendance so that I can now end this meeting. So we'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.